Hello, everybody. Today I want to introduce you to the evaluation essay, which is our second to last major essay in this class and the last one that is going to require a lot of deep diving and research. So as a build up into this, so we started out with the course with the remembered event essay, which is 100% drawing on your own memory and your own experiences in the world. We moved from that to the profile essay, which is looking out and drawing a conclusion based on your observations from the world or from interviews. It's very much a primary resource type of essay. And then we move to the problem solution essay with the annotated bibliography, where you are looking at multiple sources and drawing a conclusion about how to solve a problem. So from there, we're kind of building. And the last essay in this class is the evaluation essay, where you are going to look at one text and come to a conclusion based on it. So for this, we are going to be looking at a piece of literature. So you're going to be looking at a short story, a poem, or a spoken word poem. And you are going to be looking at it and kind of trying to figure out, how does it work? Why does it work? What are the rhetorical situation that we're looking at? So who is the audience? What is the context of this? Why does it matter, etc. Or you could look at like how they're using metaphor or anaphora or different things like that. Okay, so let's jump in and look at the assignment sheet. All right, so the purpose of this assignment is to help you identify main ideas, supporting evidence, and conclusion in a text and use them as evidence to prove your point. You're going to sharpen your skills of analysis and synthesis and practice your skills of revision and editing. So again, this is very much building on what you've been learning all semester. So what exactly are you being asked to do? So you are going to use evidence from a provided text to argue how well the author has succeeded in a specific task, such as character development, plot twist, or use of sensory details, such as sight, smell, sound, touch, and taste. So you're really looking and evaluating the text and saying, did they succeed in this item? Yes or no? And why do you think they succeeded? So some important dates to keep in mind. The first draft is due Sunday, December 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern. The final draft is due December 13th, which is so close to the end of our class. So the revised draft for increased credit will be due Sunday, December 20th, which is basically the absolute last day to turn anything in for this class, which will be the same day as the course reflection. All right, so let's see how you are going to be graded on this assignment. So as always, the content development is the biggest part. You're going to argue how well the author of a given text has succeeded in the specific task as decided by you. The introduction of the essay should summarize the story, dedicating the body paragraphs to analysis and synthesis using evidence from the text. The paper should demonstrate logical, mature, and thorough development of points supporting the thesis, leaving no questions unanswered. All ideas should be specific, original, easy to recognize, and easy to understand. So basically, this is setting up your structure a little bit. In the first paragraph, you're basically going to summarize the story so that your reader can understand exactly what you're going to talk about. You're going to include the major and relevant points. And then you're going to have your thesis statement. And then after that, you will develop each of your paragraphs explaining how the story worked and why it worked. Okay, so that kind of goes into the organization. So you should have an intro paragraph, thesis statement, topic sentences, and conclusion. You should always have topic sentences highlighting the paragraph's main ideas and transitions, making sure that all of your paragraphs and ideas are clearly connected to the reader. Your thesis is worth 10 points. Your thesis should include the author's name, the title of the story, and the main points that you are going to talk about. So if you're talking about how the author uses metaphor, then you need to name metaphor. And also, what does that do? Okay, so not just say the author uses metaphor. So what? Okay, why does the author use metaphor? What does it do for the story? Does it make it more exciting? Does it make it more thrilling? Like, what does it do? Okay, so you have this great thesis. And again, your thesis is going to be the backbone and structure of the essay that you can build the rest of it upon. All right, so next is sources and citations. You really don't need outside sources for this essay, but you do need to have a reference for the original story and use in-text citations anytime you use evidence from the text. So do that. All right, professionalism, your grammar goals and your format, these are the same as always. All right, so let's look at how you are going to complete this. So the first thing that you are going to do is choose a text for analysis. So I have chosen 10 wonderful stories for you to choose from. Some of them are quite short, they're one page. Some of them are a little longer. They're all under 10,000 words. I'm not sure like what page count that ends up at. So some are very short, some are longer. Some are spoken, so you might be thinking about how does the written word differ from the vocal and how it sounds. You might be thinking about imagery and how images are added to the text and what that changes as the text. As I said before, you could be thinking about rhetorical situation. Who is the audience for this? Who is the writer writing to, which might be very good for something like MLK's letter from Birmingham jail. So who exactly do you think he's talking to? And why do you think he's talking to those people? How do you know that that is his audience? Okay, so once you have chosen your text, you're going to read through it, and you might want to think about what stands out to you. So first of all, is this exciting to you? Is this something that you're like, ooh, I really enjoyed reading this? And then it's like, okay, why? What made it exciting and thrilling to you? What made you go, ooh, I like this story? Okay, so once you find that and start thinking about what made this a good story, you're going to be thinking about it as a writer. So how did they write it to draw you in? What type of literary elements did they use? So you could be looking at character development, metaphor, sensory details, how the author is creating suspense, how it fits within the genre conventions. So for that, you might be thinking of like, maybe what are the conventions of a short story? What are the conventions of a poem? What are the conventions of a spoken word poem? Okay, or thinking about the rhetorical situation, the overarching theme. So obviously this is not all you have to go on. You can choose literally anything that kind of stands out to you, as long as you can write a 13 to 1500 word essay on it. The next thing you are going to be thinking about is brainstorming. So you're going to be thinking about your text, the element you chose, and then going through the story and picking out what are the points that you say, oh, this is where I really see the character develop. Here is where I really see sensory details impacting how the story is told, etc. So you're going to start picking apart those points. These are your bits of analysis. And then you get to create your thesis, which again is this backbone. So you might say in the book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the author, Stieg Larsson, uses detailed dialogue and plot to develop the character of Lisbeth Salander and make the reader care about what happens to her. Okay, so in this, we have the title of the story, the author, the literary elements, and what the author is doing with those literary elements. So again, just like the problem solution essay, we are developing that story, and we are developing our essay in this one sentence to be able to tell the reader, this is exactly what I'm going to talk about, right? So then you have your rhetorical structure, you can build it out and revise and edit and do all these things. So on the last page here, I have some possible evaluation ideas, things that you can look at. Obviously, this list is also not complete. There are obviously a lot of things that you can analyze, but this list might help get your brain going and thinking about ways that you can look at a text. All right, so thank you for joining me today. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the upcoming evaluation essay, and I will be happy to respond to you. Okay, thanks.